I know I'm a bit late to the party on this one, but there's some phenomenal sets that came out in this summer's wave of Harry Potter sets, and I do feel the need to talk about them. So hey, let's take a closer look. For the hardcore Harry Potter fan, 2022's summer wave of Harry Potter sets has got to be one of the best of all time. And that simply comes down to obscurity. We're getting locations that we've never seen before in 20 years of the theme. That's pretty epic. One of the biggest holes in the entire Harry Potter lineup of kits is the lack of Deathly Hallows sets. We've only gotten one before this, which I believe was 2011's Hogwarts, depicting the Battle of Hogwarts, of course. But finally, we're returning to the 7th book with this set, 76403, The Ministry of Magic. I really love what they did with it. Obviously, this was a big year of price hikes for not only the Harry Potter theme, but for everything else as well. So it was quite a delight to see that this set, which has 990 pieces, actually still remains at a pretty modest $100, right where you'd want it to be price per part wise. And there's plenty of big pieces, there's plenty of small pieces. I feel like it balances out really nicely. Of course though, where the set shines is in its minifigure selection, all of which are exclusive to this set minus the Dementor. Yeah, it's an impressive lineup of figures, starting out with the new Dolores Umbridge. It's not the most spectacular version of this figure we've seen, obviously, but it's still great to get yet another variant. The highlight is the inclusion of the Locket Horcrux, a printed 1x1 rounded tile. Because it is a small piece, you actually get an extra one in this set, and I was also surprised to see that that very same piece is included in the largest set of the wave, Grimmauld Place. Up next, being depicted for the first time in LEGO, is Corbin Yaxley. He looks tremendously faithful to his on-screen appearance, which is delightful to see. No printed legs or alternate face on this one, unfortunately, but overall a very solid figure, and I think really does justice to that character. Another spectacularly well done figure is Pius the Knees. Again, while he doesn't have printed legs, he does have an alternate face, which I find quite amusing, and the torso print is great. Inside his briefcase, he actually has a time turner too, another piece you get an extra of. Again, when compared to his on-screen appearance, they've done a tremendous job with this one. Next is Albert Runcorn / Harry Potter. As is to be expected, you get a double-sided head in this case, the other side featuring a brand new Harry Potter printed head, which is great to see. All of our transforming characters get alternate hair pieces as well, which is awesome. The torso print is new, and we do get printed legs this time around, though it's that pretty standard one they use for a lot of characters like this. Still great to have, and it adds a lot more dimension to this character. Next up is Mafalda Hopkirk / Hermione. I think the torso is probably one of my favorites here. It really captures, again, that on-screen look so well. I do feel that the cheekbones in the face printing there are a touch excessive, but still a very recognizable character. On the back, we get an exclusive Hermione printed face as well, and of course you get that hairpiece. Then we get Reg Cattermole / Ron. This one's particularly fun because it depicts Ron after he's been rained on, and so half of the torso is wet, done with a dark bluish gray printing on top of the light bluish gray. Even though I think we've seen it before, the alternate Ron face is pretty fitting for the ending scene when Ron transforms back into himself. We also get Mary Cattermole in this set. I really like what they've done with this figure. We get printed legs again. It all lines up very nicely. I'm pretty certain the face used for her is one we've seen before, but it works totally fine. All in all, this is another great character. And we get a new Arthur Weasley variant, Arthur at Work. Not too much exciting going on here, but the more the merrier, right? I think he has something in his briefcase. I hear it rattling around. He has a bumblebee. That's not what I was expecting. It's been a while since I built this set, guys. And we get a Dementor, and he's holding a soul-sucking machine gun. Very important. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I'm not the hugest fan of the 3rd generation Dementors. I feel like the 2nd version of them was done to perfection. Even though that ghostly dual molded leg piece is pretty sweet, the torso print just doesn't do it for me. And I miss the much more lavish front and back cape piece that was made for the original versions. But hey, it's a great army building fig, and I think it makes sense to have it here. So yes, I love the figures. I think most of the people who get this set are going to be very excited for this figure selection. Something I nearly forgot about is the cat Patronus included in this set. This is Umbridge's Patronus, which only makes a brief appearance in the movie, and I think that's a reason to appreciate it all the more. They didn't have to include it, and yet they did. It matches along with the other Patronuses, Patroni, that have been included in previous sets. It's fun to get another one. I think as a playset, this one works really well, too. There's so much going on in the exterior and the interior. We'll start with the small side builds. We get the telephone booth, which is a lot of stickers, unfortunately, but I do think it's better to have 4 than 1. The design here, simple as it is, just utilizing this new curved corner, whatchamacallit, looks really, really good. You can see that they've used brackets here on the side to extend the sides just a little bit so you can actually fit a figure in there. The interior is pretty lackluster, just a single telephone on a clip, but hey, it works. It is worth noting that this door piece is printed, which is pretty epic. Printing on clear pieces is an absolute win. Love to see that. We got the same sort of special treatment in Diagon Alley with window designs oddly similar to this one. I wonder what it means. I know a lot of people were pretty disappointed by the fountain, but I think this is totally appropriate. Doing anything larger would have just been unnecessary and excessive, and you get a pearl gold Sensi Wu figure out of this, which is great. I love the parts usage here. Gold frogs at the bottom, gold leaves. It's great stuff. And then we get gunmetal gray ingots too. And I guess technically adds another figure to our lineup. We also get the paper airplanes that buzz around the place sending messages. They're included on transparent stands to look like they're flying. It's just that simple triangular sign piece with a clip on the back. The addition of 2 of these is a very fun touch to add some atmosphere to the set. We'll take a look at the exterior first here. You can see they've done a pretty good job of replicating the look that we see in the movies. The color scheme is so much fun. Dark tan, dark green, and red. There's a number of pieces we're seeing here for the first time, and to be totally honest, I don't know all of them off the top of my head. Dark green masonry bricks are new for this set, along with these wall panel pieces, and I believe a number of other pieces in dark green. We get 2 of these guys, whose name I'm blanking on, which makes me sad. I'm not half the fan I used to be. I gotta read the books again. And we get the implied smoke that they produce with the use of these Monkey Kid pieces in trans bright green. You'll notice a few sticker detailings around here for the Ministry. This is actually loose, so it can swing, which is nice. And can you hear that? On top, we also have a typewriter. Makes me wonder if they could have included Rita Skeeter in this set. I feel like that's one of the most important minifigures that we're still missing. Perhaps we'll see her next year. I know we are getting at least 1 Goblet of Fire set in the spring. Perhaps we'll get more in the summer too. But all of these do break apart, so you can technically rearrange the exterior in a number of different ways. You can make the Ministry Tower. I believe on the back of the box, it suggests doing 3 towers, but you can pull all of these individual modules apart and reconfigure them in any way you so choose, which is kind of fun. It's great to have that flexibility. You'll see that there are pinholes on the bases of all of them, so you can line them all up like this too. There's just so much potential. And they're all the same height and everything like that. I love to see stuff like that. I think a lot of people do. Just to have that option. Even though I do believe that what they've done here is probably the best looking layout. This might not fit on everyone's shelf. It might be too tall. It might be better ways for people to rearrange it. It's great to have that option. I appreciate that LEGO does that. There's a few play features here, probably visible from the outside. We have, of course, the essential flue powder fireplace. Let's grab Umbridge. We can make Umbridge appear. Ta-da! And then you can make her also disappear. Not much going on. It's just like a 90-degree hinge, but hey, it works. It's fun. I love the green fire everywhere too. On the opposite side at the base, we get these stacks of newspapers. These are all prints, which is really cool. And to replicate the scene in the movie, you can fling them out just like that. There's just two pretty obvious actuators in the back. You can stack them up here too to get even a bigger mess. So we have two interiors to look at on each side. And the cool thing is that you can depict a lot of scenes from multiple movies. For instance, here we have the Hall of Prophecy, and you can knock over the shelves, of course. And look at all these opalescent pieces. They're pretty. Some of them look different. There's a transparent opalescent, and there's a not so transparent. I'm assuming they're just from different batches. I don't think that was an intentional thing, but I like the variety that it adds. It actually works pretty well here. Above is Arthur Weasley's office. It is just jam-packed with funny details. Of course, we have the rubber duck, whose function, even in the Deathly Hallows, he is still trying to ascertain.
Tell me, what exactly is the function of a rubber duck?
There's also great pictures here of a Muggle aeroplane and the picture of his family in Egypt. Some other great parts in here: teapot, baby bottle, several cups. You get one of those really nice boom boxes with a fork on top, a jewel, and some sort of sparkly bottle, as well as a clock. Lots of great details. Not much you can actually do in that space besides set Arthur Weasley at his desk. But I love all the details. That's super, super fun. Over on the other side, we have what I would assume to be the court. Stacks and stacks of papers, which reminds me of the scene in Goblet of Fire when Igor Karkaroff is on trial. So you could definitely play out that scene using the things here. They've made this very easy to remove. It's only attached by two studs, so you can plop it out real easy and make a courtroom scene. All of these detach pretty quickly, and you can make a small little scene outside, which is super, super nice. A dark brown window insert too, just to get some added depth there, is really nice. And then we have Umbridge's ministry office, which is very similar to her one at Hogwarts. Cat pictures everywhere. A little hard to line up on those round tiles for sure, and I don't think I did that perfectly. Lots of fun details in here, and the color scheme is just great. Yeah, I was really happy with this set. This probably ended up being my favorite of the summer wave, and I didn't think it was going to be my favorite. I was most excited for Dumbledore's office, but this one took the prize just because of the minifigure selection, the fun detailed filled interiors, the great color scheme, the amount of stuff here for $100 feels pretty good too, especially for a licensed theme. With that being said, there's so many strong sets from this wave of Harry Potter. And if you'd like me to take a closer look at some of those other ones, I'd be more than happy to. I love what they're doing with the Harry Potter line, and I'm excited to see what we get in the future. Have a great life. I'll see you next time.